I think our original vision when we spoke to people all those years ago living with dementia and how we ended up creating the group, it was about really tiny strategies of things that couldn't change what was happening, but maybe changed how people could cope in a way by hearing the experiences of other people or our sharing of our own experiences and things that had worked or not worked. I think it's different for everybody.
The joy and the beauty in this group is that you're personalising it around your participants. So week to week, you're guided by them, and with the fantastic resources, not just in the postal packs, but with the original resources that we've worked together to develop as well. Yeah. Everything's there. We've got our paddles for our quizzes if that feels like what we want to be doing that week. And actually, it's a journey with the participants as well, and it's okay if you don't know all the answers, and it's okay if you don't have every part of the session time, because you work together, and that's what it's all about.
The postal packs though were amazing. They made the group because they all had something. I mean, it did take a bit of time because every week we would have you got your book, and then they were so nice that people didn't want to write in them, so we had to do it. We had to sit and show and say, look, you can write in them. They're yours to keep forever, And I think they totally supported what we were doing. Mm-hmm. To me, it was the quality. It was everything about them. It was the little tea bags. It was whatever you were talking about was all relevant. They were very, what's the word, accessible. So it was like they weren't hard to go through and fill in once they got used to doing that. And I also think for me it was the fact that the carer or their family member felt involved all the way through. And even there was one husband said that he was that impressed, he showed it to his daughter who worked, was she not a librarian somewhere, and he thought, why does
university?
A university, and he was going, you should be, why they should have them in this, and it was just the whole combination of it all.
And one lady said it was like her lucky box when it came through the door.
I know.
When she got to open it, she was so excited, wasn't she? And I think because it's so not just professionally put together, but it's pretty. It's all wrapped up and it looks really nice. And
And I mean, if you think through the pandemic, you wouldn't even got much mail through the post, And when they were getting these and opening them up, they just loved them, And it was a joy to see their faces and see the boxes, and I loved them.
We were able to tap into the Connecting People, Connecting Support website as well, and we used that within the group, which introduced participants to that resource as well, and said, this is here, look how easy it is, we'll do it together.
There was times in the sessions that Ashley and I could have just left them, once they all knew each other's faces and they would wave to each other. It was actually really good. It kind of blew me away sometimes that, you had that kind of nice, oh my goodness, we're actually making a difference online. Mm-hmm.
Really based from the feedback, because particularly the first two cohorts there was incredible robust evaluation in terms of how the facilities felt the group was running, and whether it was meeting what was required, and how the service users felt. And also we used the QualiD outcome measure tool, so that enabled us to get a real balanced measure of success.
What that allows us to do, the improvement approach, so we've got your research, so we know it, we've got, and what we've able to do, I think, with improvement stuff is proof of concept locally. And the improvement approach, the way we've tackled it, so Alison McKean and I, rightly or wrongly, is actually those small tests of change. So try it, test it, change it, try, test, change, and build on it, but keep measuring. So we've stripped back the measurement and measure what matters. So what matters to the people with lived experience, what matters to really busy clinicians, but please keep measuring. And I think so that's allowed us to change that, because it's not a research project, it's an improvement project. So when people have said, that's too long, we've done it, we've found it worked, we've found it, so we've stopped and we've stripped some stuff back, but we've kept the things that we think are really important and hopefully are important to clinicians and the people that the clinicians are working with.
And finally, the absolutely amazing package of resources themselves. The design detail and the thought that's been put into the resources, the variants. I absolutely love my sleep relaxation box that I have at home myself, with my lavender bag in it, and I think it just makes things more tangible for people. They relate to it. It's about them, it's about normal life, it's about instilling hope for individuals. So I think that combination has really brought this success to Inverclyde.
Everybody that we show the resource to comments on what a professional presented resource it is, and it's something that we're proud of, and we're proud to take it along and share it with our colleagues and let them see what we're involved in.
I thought the material was all very good. I think the fact is that we would have a discussion in the group, and then the participants, yourselves, would be able to go away and share that with their relatives.
They've been so valuable. Not just for the person, but for the family. So, you know, we had one person who the family sat and completed the book with her. So you've still got that involvement. It's not something they've got to try and remember when they go back. They have it, and and it prompts. So I'm sure one family member had said, you know, I'd never thought of that or looked at this. So it prompted them to have a look at different ways of like engaging with their partner or their family member with dementia.
Do you know, I think what it does, Claire, is it gives the work the credibility that we need, so we can actually talk about an evidence base. So what we've done with your work is we've looked at your evidence and your evidence base and how we can then translate that in practice, which I think is really bought in and got us that engagement from the occupational therapists. I think working particularly with design researchers, so if I think about Helen, that ability to work with us and change things as we know, as they've come up. It was the most extreme because we're doing a pandemic, but we had that before. So to say, people are telling us this isn't as helpful, the wording's not right, or it's too complex, and to really do that at speed and pace. That included the look of it, the design of it, but also the evaluation of it.
I would honestly say for myself and Paula, being occupational therapists, it's true OT, and that's the best thing about it, is that we're able to facilitate a group, meet new people, assist and support people as best we can, you know, so we're talking about solutions, helpful hints and tips and things like that. So it's been a godsend, especially, as I say, with the pandemic going on. You know, you thought everything is, what can we do? And this just happened to, you know, land on our laps as such, which has been a great experience.
Oh, you just have to go for it. You really do. You know, you just, because we got around every technical problem.
We did, yep.
You know, and they were very patient, you know, and we found that, you know, I mean, we did 12 weeks with the online, you know. We kind of thought 10, but it went that well. We just carried on because that's the way it worked. But, no, I think people have to, because, you know, I'm not tech savvy at all, you know. And I think it's just, you know, you just have to kind of bite the bullet and do it. And it's great. When you see everybody gelling, you know, that it does make it, you know. Sorry, I do that because you're honestly, it makes your heart sore sometimes when you...
We've been really fabulously supported by the staff here, and I think being in a venue that's accessible for our participants was hugely important. And as soon as they walked through the door, they were sort of intrigued and asking about, you know, oh, what happens in here, and that sort of community connection started from the very beginning as soon as they set foot in the door. So it was embedded from the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I only know her though she can't wear a mask or anything because I don't know her with her.
I know. I'll
Hair
need
up.
put my mask back on for you.
You don't know.
You're so different.
Anytime you see me, I've got the mask on, my hair back.
But she just needs to say a one word and I think,
my
that's Paula.
voice.
And I remember they were sitting talking to the doctors and I don't know what he said, but all I remember him saying was early onset of dementia. And I says, dementia? I mean, I'd never heard anything about that before, up to then. And I mean, I just was so surprised that it's come at me rather than working towards it. We're also relieved that we're still human.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
And that we can sort of work with this.
Mm-hmm. It gives people someone else other than their family, you know, to talk about. And everybody coming along is going through similar, you know, maybe not the exact same, but I think being able to spend time with other people that are going through it, just, I think all the groups we've done, everybody's gelled really well, you know, it's been, and especially with the group you were in, Anne, everybody
But we had Nori.
We had Nori
and
as
we've had
well,
Bill.
yes,
When we were walking beside the water, you know, and there was two kind of old women, you know, and I was kidding them on, you know, and I say, well, we're old people, can we get in and see you? And we laughed and laughed, you know, daft things, you know, but it gives you that confidence, a wee bit of fun, you know, daft things, you know, but I think you get comfortable, you know. That's good.
I think that was a good thing, as you were saying, that you came as four strangers and then he's left as friends.
Right.
Is that right? He's built up that relationship as you progress through the group.
That's true.
May, you became so confident. The two of you built up a good relationship and you thoroughly enjoyed coming every week, you know. And I think he's right. I think, or maybe corrects me if I'm wrong, is that the fact is as well, the two facilitators that you felt comfortable with and also where you were going to the group, i.e. the hub.
You felt as if you were in a different world sort of thing. You didn't feel as if you had the dementia.
Yep.
They made you feel confident and courageous.
It's a great venue, it's a great place to be in my hub. Because not only, there was a lot of other things going on apart from our group, you know. There were kids up there, and they put all these plants in the garden and all that. Really nice place.
So obviously we've had the pandemic and groups in general had stopped for a while, so it was really lovely to be able to meet people face to face to do the group. Broomhill Hub let us do that with a bigger room, sort of to be able to have the social distancing so that everyone felt comfortable, hopefully, but when they were there. And it was really lovely just to kind of see how quickly that yourself and the other gentleman who came to the group relaxed.
Aye, blended together.
Yeah, and yous all had kind of things in common. And yous ended up really quite good friends, I would say, David. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
That's good.
At the beginning it was kind of frightening. I didn't want to go, but after the first couple of weeks I felt as if my confidence was coming back because there was people the same as myself there. You know, and you didn't have to put an effort to things.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, I was disappointed that it was going to stop, you know. If you had said, oh, I've got another 6 weeks, that would have been great, you know. But because it was so good, you know, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And then you feel you might not do it going somewhere else, you know.
The most important thing was getting my confidence back.
Yeah.
And not feeling stupid.
Yeah.
And knowing that other people get the same as yourself.
Yeah.
So that gives you that wee push.
It'd be great for other people, and they probably don't want to talk to anyone about this, and or they know I've got this, or they don't know I've got that, and they would feel great.
Definitely go. Definitely. Yep.
But then everyone should feel good.
Better.
Shouldn't be worried about anything, because after about as I say, about a week or so. Because you know, when you walk in and you think, well, what's going to happen here, you know, and then gradually we really enjoyed it, you know. Some take cakes than others. But no, I'm only kidding. But, no, but you get to know each other, you know, and it's good. You know. That's why I missed it, you know, because you can have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And it sounded quite good because there were another two chaps, same ages with my fellow, and same stages. So I found it good that I can sit and talk to other people with the same type of thing that was going on with dementia. And the whole of the time I was at the group, I looking forward to every Wednesday, you know, to go up to the group, and the other two chaps as well. I think they enjoyed it. We all got talking and remembering things that way back in the 70s now, and see, I could remember things that would just come off the top of my head. I would say that, but if you asked me about yesterday, I didn't know. But
yeah, I heard the men discussing certain kinds of whiskey, and you know, you could hear them rabbiting on. So I must get this information over to her, sort of thing. But yeah, then you get the shy person who'll not speak much anyway, and you just have to know that. Just leave them in peace, and they'll come. They'll come by.
And I think that's within a couple of groups, wasn't it? Everybody was talking.
Can I just say, David, from my point of view, it was really lovely to see the group develop over the kind of 12 sessions that we met, and just everyone's confidence grow and those relationships grow. That was really so nice to see. And even people who were maybe a wee bit quieter in the group initially, perhaps because they felt a wee bit more anxious, that by, you know, a few weeks in, everyone was joining in together and supporting each other, and it did feel really comfortable, and we had really quite good fun, didn't we? We laughed quite a lot. We had quite a good giggle a lot of the time.
It was funny, talking things. And Joe, when Joe spoke, it was funny.
Yeah.
I know he didn't talk a lot, but when he started talking, it was good to listen to. I don't know how many times I've said this, but I've just got high praise for the 2 years. It's done the work. And everybody that's involved, really, and devising the book. It's really good, and I would advise anybody that's got dementia and they've never done this, I would advise them to go, or, you know, I would tell them how good it is. I wouldn't even mind doing it again myself, you know, because I would know our answers.
That's it, yeah.
What has it done for you personally, I guess?
Oh gosh, it's been fantastic. It's been so. It's been an amazing opportunity for me to meet so many people who care so passionately about people living with dementia in Scotland, and to be able to learn so much from the people that have been involved. Oh gosh, Claire!
Do you know, it just shows how passionate you are, Ashley, for the work. And I was thinking just when Ashley was speaking, when we did the launch event and it was online, we had Henry Simmons speaking.
That's right, gosh.
Chief Executive Alzheimer Scotland with Scottish Dementia Working Group. We had all the different sites, and in some ways, and it's really exciting because you've got the opportunity, Ashley, as well, to go and share your work in partnership with many, many other people.
It started off with my work as part of the Careers Fellowship, when we just had the 2 test sites in Scotland initially, coming together and collating the data and bringing that all together, and working with Elaine and obviously yourself, and bringing all the data and sharing all our successes and our challenges, and pulling that together and sharing it more widely, and when we still could go to different venues and speak about the work that we've done, and then building on that obviously with the Alliance funding. And it was a fantastic opportunity for me to work obviously so closely with Elaine in developing the work further, and it was such an exciting opportunity.
It's almost like getting that start-up funding makes it, it's one less thing for the therapist to have to think about.
Yes.
So they can concentrate on the clinical work.
Home-based memory rehab has been a really good footing, and also occupational therapy assessment as well. We have a lot of call from our colleagues within mental health for functional, cognitive and environmental assessments, and we really had started looking in a different way and saying, well, this person would actually benefit from Journeying Through Dementia, and we'd just slip them right through. You know, there's no convoluted referral system. We're now on to our 5th cohort, so we actually run 2 cohorts per week, so there's very little waiting time. We do have a waiting list, so it's well embedded within the service.
Dream for me would be you would offer it to somebody actually and say, do you know, I've already got it. I've got it already. Wouldn't that be fabulous? How do we spread that work? So from Inverclyde to Fife, to share the real challenges of changing and transforming pathways within a system, and actually how do we make it much more accessible to the people of Scotland, so wider than these 2 test sites, so to scale and spread in the terminology that we'd use in improvement.
Finding the right people who will champion it, and so you need champions, not necessarily facilitators. You need the skilled facilitators, but you need that central person who is going to say, well, if you don't do this, this is a risk. This is how you know our service will look if we don't actually embrace this. This is the way forward for dementia, and so I think you know, my learning from it has been exactly that, is to just keep at it, and just say, well, this is not a luxury, this is actually a requirement for people living with dementia, and therefore that's what's needed. And I think the national group, which, you know, Elaine chairs, gives people that opportunity to say, really struggling with this. What do folks suggest? That's the main advice I would give to other areas, is to say, find that key person who will drive it forward, and then get commitment for staff release to then actually do it, and then the community will speak for itself. Absolutely, the community will say, yes, sign me up.
What next as well is actually that ability, so when you're speaking about that national work, is to sort of give voice to the work and to share it.
Yes.
Really strategically, so coordinated and strategically, so we can actually take a bigger community with us.
Yes.
Of occupational therapists in Scotland and hopefully others in the UK as well. So just when you're speaking, actually, I'm thinking webinars, I'm thinking we've got the films, so it's just how we can do that. Some formal publications, but maybe not, but there's different ways we can do it through social media and using that type of forum as well, actually. So I think it allows us to adapt to change, but to still hold core of the relationships that are important, so that group coming together and the technical tools improvement affords us, but the small test to change, but to measure what matters, but to make sure we do measure, and to share the data that makes sense locally, so it can fit with your local delivery plan. That's really important.
I think that's the key thing, because the measurement was so robust initially, and it needed to be. So, you know, the facilitators themselves, where they had quite a lengthy tool to fill in every week, and they were like, do we have to do this? And we're like, yes. that's part of evaluating and seeing whether it's actually working. You have to look at all angles, and then, as you say, Elaine, then having that conversation, which on the ground the facilities went, oh, thank goodness we can focus on the people a bit more. We don't have to put the effort into, and so actually honing down what is important to continue to evaluate. So we honed in and agreed that actually the approach works. What's available for the facilitators is there. It works. It's there's nothing missing. We've proven that with the initial test of change, and so the next stage, which is right. Okay, we need to continue to get the views of the people who are enjoying journeying through dementia, and so that's really the next steps.
When we started this work, our mission and our conversations were always around, and mission's maybe not right, but ambition is actually people were speaking about self-management and supported self-management facilitated by occupational therapists, but just to know that actually self-management and rehabilitation works for people with dementia. And it's a bit like, so we had the box and actually just to see that in practice, which is why we pitched the funding bid originally to the Alliance, to their self-management fund. And again, not a lot of money, but enough to get us started. So yeah, that's just when you're speaking, it's like that's how we started. And just when you hear, and now you're talking about sort of working with other organisations as a sort of a follow-on, because it is about people remaining in the community and being part of that community, whatever that looks like for that person.
Yeah, really look at, right, what does this mean for me? How's my life going to look? And we all, from a health sense, go, right, the first protocols are GP, etc. And so I think the next steps are looking at that landscape and saying, right, what is meaningful that we have here? It is about self-management. It's about promoting your own health needs. It's about looking at your welfare and your well-being, and so I really feel that this could work anywhere. And I think particularly with people, because of the emotional side to this, it enables people to really just adjust and share experience, but in a very practical, structured manner. I think that is the huge difference for people. So I think primary care is perhaps the way forward. I think we do need that central steering group, that ongoing sort of national perspective. And I have found in that group you're able to share experiences, but at a strategic level, to say, oh well, this worked because we had this or that worked or whatever.
So that's the dream, which I don't think is unrealistic. It's just going to take a bit of time and to work with the occupational therapists across Scotland, with hopefully the continued support of yourself, Claire, and Lab for Living. So that's my dream and aspirations.